good morning and or good night, good afternoon, depending on where you're looking or where you are watching or listening to us. And thank you so much for being here. We have a very special guest today, and I am sure we'll have a lot of fun. Thank you for being part of this series, Andrea, and for being here in this podcast. We have a series that is talking with many super brilliant, smart, and successful women in STEM. And it's been really nice to talk to all of you guys and learn about your successes and then have all that inspiration for anyone else that wants it. So Andrea, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me. What a pleasure to be here and being part of the women you have selected to interview in your podcast. And it's an honor, and I'm humble for it. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice. Well, without further ado, we have a lot to cover. So let me introduce Andrea. So Andrea Sanchez Source is enthusiastic about the long-term performance and integrity of materials exposed to aggressive environments at the macro and micro level. She has experience in various industry sectors, such as transportation, oil and gas, and tech. Andrea received her Ph.D. in civil engineering with concentration in materials from the University of South Florida. And she holds a BS in chemical engineering from Universidad Rafael Urdaneta in Venezuela. She is currently a listen to this is very interesting, semiconductor packing quality and reliability engineer at Soli-dime. I hope I'm pronouncing it correct.
You said it correctly, yeah.
Okay, a leading global provider for innovative NAND flash memory solutions, where she is responsible for leading the NAND package level reliability qualification from concept to high volume manufacturing. Andrea is proud SHPE, Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, lifetime member and co-founder of the Latinas group of the SHPE, and it's called SHPEtinas. I hope I pronounced SHPEtinas. Okay. She's also the co-author of the recently published Corrosion Management for a Sustainable Future, published by AMPP, Association of Materials Protection and Performers, that's the former NACE. Andrea resides in Northern Carolina with her husband, Jake, and their 1-year-old daughter. Andrea enjoys riding bikes, reading, and traveling. Thank you so much for being here, Andrea.
Yes, no, thank you. Thank you for having me. And I live in Northern California.
Northern California,
Carolina,
what did I
yes.
say? Carolina.
Carolinas.
Yeah, it's because yesterday I spoke with someone that is in North Carolina, and it's stuck in my mind. And fun enough, this morning I had a meeting with someone called Carolina. So it's Carolinas are running in my head. Sorry about it.
Not a problem.
Okay, so tell us, how did you end up in this path of STEM?
Yes, so cool. I would say it's an aggregate of multiple things, right? I did not get here alone. No one does, right? But I think I can think of three things. One is having a strong foundation in education in my family, exposure, and role models. So by a strong foundation in education is just that both of my parents are educators. So education was a really big deal growing up. And my dad was more inclined on the science side of things. My mom was more on the humanities side of things. So I think that that really gave me a strong foundation in my early years to have an interest in learning, in being curious, and being a good student overall. On the second side, exposure. My dad, he's a retired professor for chemical engineering. So I remember going with him to the lab, and just probably not understanding the technical discussion he was having with his peers, but the fact of being there and hearing fancy words. But I also remember, looking at the lab equipment, even if there was a beaker in graduate cylinders, and just being exposed to that, imagination kicks in, right? So then you start visualizing yourself as an adult and say, "Oh, this looks cool, right? I want to be part of. I want to be a scientist and discover and change the world for good." um, and then role models. I am the youngest of three sisters, so and I have 8 to 10 years age difference with them. So by the time I was 7 years old or so, there were already conversations about college happening in family discussions. And so probably by the time I was already entering my teenager years, my sisters were both graduating from college. And when you're a teenager, you seek for independence, right? And I think that really gave me the motivation to say I want to be like them, right? Well, first of all, I'm biased because I love my sisters. They're my best friends and they're wonderful. But just seeing them in their early career and that independence and that knowledge really just set me to say, okay, I definitely want to go to college. Now, why STEM? I'm sure I was highly influenced by my dad and probably like my older sister, because they both happen to be chemical engineers. But I think from early on, I think engineering was my calling. I think I was okay at math. I really like physics and chemistry when I first took those courses. Now, are engineers born or made? That's a chicken or the egg question. I will never know. But I would say that's what set me up to the path of STEM, and I feel very fortunate for having that family support throughout the years.
That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing. And now, like you were talking, and I am remembering the four last panelists, and they all have said the same thing. They were raised in families where education was important, and they had people along their side from a very young age that pushed them and then told them, like, this is possible, you can do anything, like, go in this way. And then just having the opportunity to see things and exposed, like you said, probably they don't understand, but they are exposed to that environment, and that in itself, it is already a big gift.
Yes.
So
yes,
it is
exactly.
It is
exposure
really
is so important, and that's one of the ways to change, right? To get more people into STEM, providing that access and support.
Yeah, the other night there was another webinar, and then they showed women in STEM in different areas of the world. One happened to be Canada, and the other happened to be Emirates. And the common theme was exactly that if you have a model, like no one can follow a path that they don't see, they cannot model someone. So if they can model someone, then it is possible. So it is very important. So really good. It's very interesting to find all those. We come from so many different spectrums, and then at the same time, so many commonalities. It is very fascinating. Perfect. So tell me, like, we're working with big things, right? Big pipes, big shovel, big, but you seem to be working in a smaller scale. So I'm very curious about, like, how is it, like, a day-to-day look to you? Like, what do you do in all those micro things?
Yeah. So to provide a bit of background, like you mentioned in my introduction, I work for Solidigm. It's a data storage solution company. I think that maybe what I said in the intro might have been a mouthful, but it's a data storage solution company, and you probably and our main product is solid state drives. Now, I know some listeners may be very tech savvy and have a very well knowledge on what a solid state drive is. But for those who don't, I think the best analogy is that you probably have had a hard disk drive, right? That you've used in the past to save any data from a computer, to back up your computer or your cloud. So, and the hard disk drive, it's already an old technology. The latest technology in data storage is solid state drives, and these are integrated circuits that store data persistently. So before, the hard disk drive were more of like a mechanical device. Now the solid state drives just operate with integrated circuits, right, that are made of transistors. So I specifically work with the quality and reliability of these integrated circuit assemblies that are also known as semiconductor or integrated circuit packaging. So what it is that these integrated circuits, or chips, which I'm sure many people are familiar, because chips, it's a big word right now going on. The chips in a package, it's encapsulated in an epoxy, and it has electrical connection underneath. So then the packaging has two purposes. One, to provide the electrical connection from the chip to the printed circuit board, so where eventually will be the solid state drive. And then two, the packaging also offers environmental protection. So against any mechanical, chemical damage, or light-induced damage. Now these packages, what it's interesting is that they're made out of metals, ceramics, fibers, polymers. So it's all these different types of materials all bundled up together, and during the service life, right, are exposed to a high and low temperature fluctuations. They're exposed to high humidity, and because they're usually turned on for its operation, there is some a voltage bias in them. So I think with these keywords, you probably know where I'm leaning to. So there is a high risk of corrosion or mechanical damage in these packages. But in addition to that, because of all the different materials that I mentioned, there's a key material property, which is the coefficient of thermal expansion, that it's key for the reliability of these packages. So the coefficient of thermal expansion, it indicates how much a material expands upon heating. So all of these metals, fibers, ceramics have different coefficient of thermal expansion. So if there is a severe mismatch, right, like we call shear stress, for example, that could lead to a failure, and then the device becomes non-operational. So my goal as a packaging quality and reliability engineer is to ensure that, one, all these materials interact in harmony within the package, and two, I also evaluate the assembly process, because we may select the best materials, but sometimes it may not be feasible during the manufacturing, either because the technology is not there or it's very expensive. So I need to ensure that when this is all manufactured, the device will perform its intended function for the specific time and under a specific operating and environmental conditions. So that's I think that's my work in a nutshell. I hope I was I didn't lose you.
No, it was like a really great description. I was picturing everything in my mind, like making the mental pictures of, the little elements and the materials being together. So very nice. Thank you. Yeah, you sure know how to, vulgarize things so people can understand and follow the trends. So it's really nice. It's very interesting to have all those materials working together. Normally, as a corrosion or integrity, we work mostly with metals, but it's sometimes like non-metals, like FRP or something like that, but it's rare that we can have the opportunity to have all the materials, the possible sources within one product. So
it is incredible. I'm amazed, honestly, like how far we have gone with the semiconductor technology. It's very impressive.
Wow, it is. So it seems like it has evolved very quickly in the last, I don't know how, what will you say, in the last 10 years, 5 years?
I mean, I think it has evolved along with the what they call it, Moore's law, the number of transistors that you can put in a specific area of a chip. I think it just has been caught up with the transistors evolution as well. I would say, yeah, obviously I'm relatively new to this field, but from what I have read and interacted with other colleagues, I would say maybe from the 1990s it has really kicked off.
That's very interesting. It sounds amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
So you have been working in many sectors, right? In oil and gas and tech now, and so you have seen the scale in different areas, different sectors, different companies.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any one thing that is common for this corrosion theme that we so like to talk about? Is that something that you can see it's repetitive? It can be good or bad. It doesn't have to be one or the other, but is there any common theme that repeats?
Yeah, so right in the three fields that I work on, in infrastructure and with my PhD in modeling reinforced concrete, then moving to oil and gas and now tech. Okay, like you said it, all of them, what is prevalent is the corrosion is there. But I would say that one thing that I've seen in all of them is that we tend to follow a lot of prescriptive stress test based evaluations. I see that a lot in the three of them, very prescriptive, like, and it's not performance based. So it's almost as if the assessment of these materials, we're still using what was used 3 decades ago or so. It hasn't caught up with today's technology and today's advanced materials that we have. And I would say this from concrete, because concrete mixtures are, today's high concrete mixtures are very different from 30 years ago. Same thing with the selection of materials in steel alloys for pipelines, and the same to the selection of materials that we have for semiconductor packaging. So it is interesting that we still use this 3-decade-old stress test base rather than cutting up with performance base. And what I mean is that it's almost feels like it's a check mark. Okay, it passed this prescriptive test, then it's good. But I don't know. I wonder, sometimes if we are over designing or under designing. You never know. Hopefully not. So and with those prescriptive stress test base that I mentioned, along comes with predictive modeling. Obviously, there's advanced modeling today, but I would say that when you're I feel there's more advanced modeling obviously in investigation centers and universities, but I think that in the field, we're still using 30-year-old plus approximations that again, they haven't caught up. So I find that very interesting. It's almost like in the 1970s and 1980s was the golden era for empirical approximations for lifetime prediction of these materials, and it ended there. I don't know.
Stopped.
Yeah, time stopped. So and I get it. I mean, there is NISA standards that needs to be followed for safety purposes, but yeah, it's just not much change there.
Interesting. I have never thought about it, but it is, yeah, it is the oldest standards. So what we are testing upon, it's still back in the day, we'll say.
So a lot of rule of thumbs approximations, which I think they tend to be more on the conservative side. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you have no certainty, then you have to make some room for safety when you're assuming, with thumb. So interesting. Well, thank you for bringing that subject. Normally, we don't think about those things, so it's very nice. Perfect. So I also know you've been super active on sustainability and along Chris, and I'll talk about Chris when we close today, because this interview is happening because of Chris, and I really have to give a big shout out, but I want to do it at the end. But in that work that you have done in sustainability and the book and all that, tell us a bit about that.
Yes, so that's been more of a, at this point, it's more of a side hobby. That's what it was, I would say, a long one, because the idea probably started around 2015 or 2016 when Chris Taylor and I happened to be working together for the same company, DNV. And we were both in the Strategic Research and Innovation Group. So at that time, there was a push to see what are going to be the new technologies in 10 to 20 years ahead that DNV can start, playing a role leader in the industry, right? That it can look ahead and start preparing for any major change that may come in. So during that time, in the mid 2010s, that's when the Paris Agreement happened, and with that came along the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And so it was interesting to see that there was a lot of publications on climate change, on green materials, circular economy, but there wasn't much emphasis on long-term performance. Like, it seems that it was, okay, these are kind of like green materials that are green today, kind of like low carbon for today, but there was not much on long-term performance. So during that time as well, AMP, or formerly known as NACE, released the impact study, which was a groundbreaking study presenting the importance of corrosion management and its impact to society, environment, and the economy. So those three keywords, right, that I just mentioned are the main pillars for sustainable development. So what that meant for us, that's when it clicked for Chris and I, is that corrosion engineers have already been playing a tremendous role in sustainability. It just had not been explicit that we were doing this work, right? So the purpose of this book was to link the role of the corrosion engineer into sustainability, and introduce. So the book was basically, the first part was introducing basic sustainability concepts, like I mentioned before, circular economy, and then showcase how corrosion engineers are partaking in a sustainable future. But the main goal is that this book would serve as a conversation starter and see where it takes us. Because unfortunately, the word sustainability sometimes can be associated as a dirty word in the oil and gas field, for example, right? So the idea was to say, hey guys, like we've already been doing this, and we're not greenwashing. We are doing something for a sustainable future. Like it is aligned to sustainable development goals. So that's the purpose. Start the conversation, see where it goes.
That sounds amazing. It is. I think we have a lot accomplished. It is just as a corrosion and integrity management, if we do it correctly, we have already a lot of those check marks, and there is a little bit just of the gap to be closed. And it is exactly the same. Now that you mentioned Chris, I work with Chris in the sustainability when we first start talking with Sandy and Chris about sustainability. We need a standard, we need a guide, because everyone says it's easier for other professionals, or it's easier, but we don't have a lot of incidents of that, because we are just like corrosion integrity, like it doesn't have to what is it? And a lot of people didn't think we have a correlation. And that is when I first started working with them like 6 years ago. That was exactly it. It was like, it is easier, it's easier to change the cloth bag or the plastic bag by cloth bag. But then what? Right. Yeah, you keep on piling up those cloth bags, and then it becomes waste again. And so it's the same concept. What can we do as corrosion and integrity management if we do it correctly? And we have a lot of tools already that we can use. So I'm really glad that these books and these conversations start to be more out there, and then it is perceived in a better way. So it was certainly, you guys were one of the pioneers on starting the discussion. So mission accomplished, because a lot has been discussed after that publication came out.
Yes, that's great to hear. And also I missed to say that Chris and I are the co editors of this book, because the book is it's an aggregate of work from more than 20 authors. So basically what Chris and I, what we did, I would say mostly him, is gather the we sent out the invitations, and then people were interested. So what I'm saying with that is that it was just not a book of Chris and me. There's more than 20 people involved in this book that are also interested in this topic. And I think, and I know that one of the questions I had is like, you used to have a technical group, right, for sustainability at AMP. I'm not sure where it stands right now, but I said, well, the goal is that technical group disappears, because then sustainability is being taught at all the technical groups at AMP, not just the one, right? It's already part of the foundation of the organization. So I think that would be the end goal. And also that we need the experts, right? The corrosion experts to be involved, compared to other people that, I mean, I'm not saying all of them, but could be associated with being a little bit more fanatics and are not in a technical field, and suggest that this is what we have to do, this is the right thing. So we need the experts to be involved in creating a more sustainable future.
Absolutely. And then when we have that buy-in from people that understand, and then they absolutely see the way of doing it, and the path of following it becomes easier to pass on the message.
Yes.
So absolutely. Conversations are continuously going, like the EFC, the European Federation of Corrosion, the next conference will be focused on sustainability and circular.
That's great. That's great.
So it is a lot of opportunities. Yeah, a lot of opportunities out there. So that's very, very nice. Thank you. So now that we are talking about Sustainable Development Goals and the UN and all that, this whole segment of the podcast, talking to women in STEM, and it is meant to be for kind of raising awareness, but also to see how can we do to close that gap, the gender gap. So that's Sustainable Development Goal number 5, number 4, 17. But number 5 talks about how can we close that gap? What have we done? Like, what can we do? Again, just like sustainability, the first thing that pops into my mind, like, well, in the place I am right now today, what can I do? So, and I know you have been very active with all those things. So Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so as mentioned before in my introduction, I am a proud member of the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, also known as SHPE. So since I moved to the United States for grad school, I've been heavily involved with that organization. So the mission of the organization is to increase the number of Hispanics in STEM by providing access, support, development. And so the organization has multiple programs that serves to the Hispanic community. And I mostly work when I was in grad school with graduate school efforts, creating awareness of graduate school to undergraduate students. Because as we said, right, we need a role model to look up into. So we wanted to provide this access to undergraduate students to see, here are your opportunities for grad school. Here's how it's like. See if you like it. At least the exposure, right? Like it's important as well. So I mainly work on that. But then after graduation, I didn't know exactly. Now I still wanted to be involved in the organization, but I didn't know exactly what to do. And it came this opportunity to lead what it was called the Latina track program. That it was a program at the conference, at the annual conference, that would serve Latinas in STEM, right, to celebrate them, to empower them, that they continue on this track. So I did this with very two good friends of mine, Jimena and Stephanie. So at the time, this Latina program was only happening at the annual conference, as I said, and it was a one-day event, sponsored only by one company. Fast forward 4 years later, I'm very proud to say that it became a 3-day program sponsored with more than 15 companies. Last year was the highest selling the program that sold the fastest when all these different programs are presenting to all the industrial partners. And not only this Latina program that we call it SHPEtinas served at the annual conference, now it has expanded to local chapter levels and also to regional conferences of the organization. So it almost, one could say, has become a movement. And it's just so beautiful to see how all these ladies, mostly undergraduate students from Hispanic descent, just feel so proud to say they are SHPEtinas, right? And that's what we want. We want them to feel valued, that they matter, and that they are going to make a change to the country, to their community, by taking this step in STEM, and also that they will be supported, because it's a challenging route, right? We know that at this moment, the numbers of representation of Latinas in engineering, it's quite small. I believe it's less than 3% or so, at least from 2 years ago in a statistic. This is in the US. And we want to, and a lot has to do because maybe the path wasn't paved for many of them, right? Some had to leave either because of different circumstances. But the point of SHPEtinas is that they know they have their sisters with them, and that they can rely on each other and feel supported and feel inspired to become what they desire to be in the field of STEM.
Wow, that's so empowering. It's so cool. And have seen it from beginning to where it is right now. I bet you're super proud. And yeah, thank you for doing that, because it is, it's also nice when you see other women supporting women, and then Latinas supporting Latinas. And it is very rewarding, I'll say.
Very rewarding, and yeah, and of course, I mean, the three of us didn't do this alone. A lot came from the support that SHPE, trusted on us, the sponsors trusted on us, and I think that when you're when you're passionate and you're really loving what you do, it's just a matter of just waiting and seeing, that it will turn out good. So it's been a fantastic experience, and I am no longer active with SHPEtinas. We, after 4 years, almost 5 years of doing this, the three of us decided to pass the baton, and give the next generation an opportunity to now lead the program, right? Because I think you do need that fresh energy. And I think after 5 years, we said, okay, I think it's time now to give others the opportunity to also show that we trust them, right? It's
empowering them,
empowering others. Exactly. Now it's time to empower others, and us, we still serve sometimes as an advisor, but also it's almost a time for us to see now what's next.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
It is a lot of work. I know it's a lot of hours volunteering for a cause, but since you're passionate about it, and this is the best reward that you can see, the fruits of that little seed that you planted years ago, blooming and then beautifully presenting itself. So it's really good.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Excellent. Okay, so what will be your, I don't know, what will be your advice maybe, or if you want to say something to the audience that is, and maybe here we can break the question into, we can talk about specifically all the audience, anyone that is listening to us, and then to women, that because this is the women's section, right? So segment. So let's talk about in general and then women specifically. What will you be telling them?
So I think for the audience, I would say, like, for those who are starting a career, or I'm in my mid-career myself, but I would say, one, be curious. Be curious, ask why, because you will notice that sometimes you ask why the so-called expert and they may not know. So ask why. It's always good. I used to kind of like be intimidated of asking why, because, like, oh my god, they're gonna think that I don't know this concept well. But now I've learned, like, no, ask why is very important. And then third, never ever say, this is how we have done it. This is how we have always done it. That is not the right reason for doing something. There should be a technical reason behind it, right? At least in our technical field. I agree. I mean, I've seen this before, and they are dangerous words. This is how we have always done it. I don't know.
I hate that. I hate that. It is. I hate is a very, very powerful word, and I don't like to use it very much, but that one I hate it when I go into some place and they tell me, oh, we do it like that because we have always done it like that, and I'm like, yeah, but who decided? Like it is absolutely necessary. So yeah, thank you for saying it.
Yeah, and then you're stuck in this business as usual, and there's always the aim for growing and advancing, but if you keep doing what you're doing, probably not gonna change.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think that comes with being curious and asking why. So yeah, I would say that's what I would say for the general audience, and then for my sisters that are pursuing careers in STEM, I would say, be yourself, be comfortable. Yes, it is true that you may be the only woman in the room. Yes, it's true that there will be some situations that will be obnoxious comments, but always make sure that you're in an environment where respect is highly valued, right? Never never accept any disrespectful situation. So yeah, be yourself, be comfortable. And there'll be some another thing that is true. Yes, it is STEM. It is a male-dominated field. And there will be, I guess I'll use this word again, obnoxious men. But the good men outnumber by orders of magnitude the bad apples. I've been very fortunate to work with many men that I call myself mentors today, that have looked out for me in a sincere way, that they really want to develop my career. They want to help grow my career, and I'm very thankful for them, because I am where I am today thanks to this man. So they are, again, the good men outnumber the bad apples. And yeah, just, I would say, just be comfortable and help pave the way for other women that are coming, for other generations that are coming behind you, right? I think we need to, as women, we need to do that extra work, that extra leg of work on how can we get more women in STEM. And if if someone from college is listening this, I would say join engineering clubs where you can find this support. And also for early career, there's a lot of women-based professional careers, but then you also have like AMP, that also has its own corrosion, women in corrosion groups. So if you feel like you need some support, or see other women in STEM, seek out, right? Like look out for this. Seek out for this support that you think you may need. And last, see if you can find good mentors. I mean, I know that sometimes our mentors can be like, I want you to be my mentor. It's almost like asking someone like, oh, you want to be my boyfriend? Like, 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 well, like you don't have to call a mentor a mentor. Like, it's just a person that you think that may help you leverage your career, or whatever situation in life that you're in. For me, that's a mentor. In that identify, like, for instance, like I could share, like, when I started working, I remember I attended many women groups when I used to work at Intel, and I would see some of these presenters, and I would send them an email afterward. Hi, can we have like a 101 together? And what, 5 years later, I still have communication, with this mentor. So it's seek out. You really have to put the work.
Yeah, it's very important that you mentioned that, because that's the way you build your community.
Exactly.
Your support.
Correct. Absolutely.
And again, like we have been saying this all along with all the women I've spoken in the podcast. That's the theme, the common theme. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's lonely, but it doesn't have to, because there is many opportunities of connection and networking and support that are out there. So just put yourself out and then follow the path. And then, like I said in I think it was in the December podcast, if you ever want to discuss more, there is a lot of us that are older, right? So you can reach out, and exactly, we'll be happy just to light a light into that path. So
yeah,
these kinds of spaces are meant to be exactly that, lighting the path. Maybe it is already paved, but you don't have light, so you don't see really well where you're going. So at least you have a little bit of guidance or something, something that sparks a light into what you are looking for.
Exactly. So, and the mentorship mentee relationship, like I've reached out to multiple people, and sometimes there's just no click, right? There's just no chemistry, and that's fine. Just like friendships, right? Like a relation, that's the nature of relationship. But I assure you that if you keep trying, you will find those people that you have a click with. And
Absolutely. And that
yeah.
is all along your career and your life. I mean, Andrea is here because I connect, and then now I'm going to allow myself to thank Chris for these opportunities, because we are thanking the good guys.
Exactly.
And then we are talking about reaching out, and then we are talking about don't be afraid. So all those three things happened in alignment, and that's why Andrea is here with me and with all of you guys today. So what happened is Chris listened to the podcast, and he reached out to me and he said, oh, I see you're interviewing women, and I think you have to talk to Andrea. She's absolutely wonderful, and you will be amazed to have her in our podcast. And I thought to myself, wow, this is the guy that everyone wants to have by their side.
Yeah.
You know, that's the coworker, that's the lead, that's the manager, that's the person that empowers. And he didn't have to reach out to me. He didn't have to say your name, but he did, and he did it authentically. So
Yeah, very thankful.
Chris Taylor, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We need more of you
Yeah.
like that, because it is by support like this that we feel that what we are doing is important, and that we feel empowered, and that we say, okay, this is making a meaningful ending to whatever is the world. I'm very
Yes.
ambitious, right? I'm always like,
I love it.
change the world, and that's why we have
Yes.
this.
I love it.
My goals are always, and I stand by them, and I love when people come out and say, you know what, this is so cool, and they may think I'm crazy, but they still go along.
I love it.
And I super like that attitude. And Chris, thank you so much. And all the women and men out there that think you can empower someone. This is a very little way, and it doesn't take none of your time, like 3 minutes to write an email, and then beautiful things can blossom out of that. So that's a way of extending the ladder. And that is, it is, I'm very, very grateful to have not only Chris's in my life, but also Andrea's, and you know, all the other girls that when I talk to them, they're like, oh yes, of course, then let's do this. This is cool, yeah. And it's like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not the only one crazy that thinks that this is important. It is really, you know, making a way of showing younger people that we can do it. We only have to reach out. We only have to ask. We only have to, and we may have rejections, but it might be something that is a click like this, and we have super nice conversations, and then we expand our knowledge, and then we get connected, and that is very important.
Absolutely. And thank you, Monica, for, changing the world one podcast at a time. This is fantastic because I know, well, I don't know, but I have an roughly understanding of the amount of time you have to spend, right, to prepare, to have the podcast, and then any post edits. So you're already very busy. And the fact that you have this fire in you is just so inspiring. So thank you for all this effort. It's just absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you so much. And I think we are at the end of the podcast. Any other last minute or last sentence?
Oh, it's just been wonderful. If other listeners want to connect with me, they can find me on LinkedIn, Andrea Sanchez Sowers. Again, happy to connect. And let's see where this takes us.
Andrea, thank you so much for being here once again. Chris, thank you for having this opportunity made up. And we hope to see you guys in the next interview. Stay tuned and, you know, subscribe and all that the YouTubers say, so you can be, you don't lose where we are. And thank you so much. I'll see you all guys in 2 weeks.
Thank you so much.
Bye.